Okay, hello. There are 6 letters to Martin Gardner channeled through me from my students. I'm going to read 1.5 of them to you. The other 4.5 of them are in the gift exchange. September 23rd, 2014, week 1. Dear Mr. Gardner, we're a group of 6 kids meeting 6 times in a math circle in Philadelphia. We're 10 and 11 years old. We're celebrating the Martin Gardner Centennial. Our facilitator, Rodi, said that you mutilated a chessboard. Strange. In your problem, the mutilated chessboard, you asked, if we remove opposite corner squares, can we cover it with 31 dominoes? We had a lot of questions about it. First of all, can we please use more than 31 dominoes? We're wondering whether 31 dominoes is enough to cover the whole board. And why are we using paper instead of real dominoes? And can we switch the positions of the removed squares? We had a lot of ideas about how to solve this problem. We could let the dominoes go on top of each other. We could tilt them. We do think that 31 dominoes seems like enough to cover 62 squares, since 31 plus 31 equals 62, so it should work. But it might not be working because there are not really 31 dominoes here. Oh, well, let's count them. It doesn't seem to work. Maybe it's because of where the removed squares are. Wow, Mr. Gardner, you really know how to write a great question. At this point, we're thinking that it doesn't work with diagonal squares, corner squares removed, but it does with the corners that are next to each other. Rodi also showed us your problem, Bronx versus Brooklyn. She gave it to us with a new wording, but kept the math the same. After half an hour, we came up with the same explanation that you did. We figured it out because every time somebody said something, even if it was wrong, it helped us figure out our next idea. We were sad that time was up in our class. We asked Rodi, are there more problems like those? Sincerely, Crystal, Candace, Akira, Hudson, McKenna, and Lily. September 3rd, 2014, week 2. Dear Mr. Gardner, Rodi put on the whiteboard a drawing of your problem, a switching puzzle. We did not let her tell us what the question is. We wanted to guess what the question is. We asked a lot of questions and came up with a pretty good question for your picture, but it was not the question you asked about. We got to work on your question by tracing train routes with our fingers. Unfortunately, that erased the drawing. So we started to use the markers as trains, which worked well since they can be attached to each other. All of us were not at the board, though. Lily sketched it out in her notebook, and Crystal was just sitting there seeming to do nothing. Turns out she wasn't doing nothing. At the same time, both Lily and Crystal jumped up and said, I think I've got it. I think I've got it is the thing we say most often in Math Circle. The next most common thing we say in Math Circle is, oh wait, never mind. We all did end up at the board working together to come up with the same solution that you did. It was a combination of working together and working alone, like real world work. Every time one of us said something, it made another one of us think of a new idea. Next, Rodi showed us several maps that were like a lot of other paper maps, easy to unfold and hard to refold in the same way, except we're used to Google Maps, so we didn't actually know this. And I'm going to stop here. The other half of this letter and the other 4 are in the gift exchange, and thank you all.